And we're back. Antonio Coppola alongside Tom Ian.
Tom Ian, how you doing, everybody?
What's going on, Tom? You have a good weekend?
Pretty good, not too bad. My teams are all kind of going down south, except for the Rangers.
Yeah,
but it's all good.
Hockey's back. We had some preseason action last night.
Yeah,
Rangers Devils.
yeah, nice little 6-3 win. A lot showing off the new talent, which ain't too bad. New goalie. I think Hellberg was his name. He's a good backup goalie. They're probably gonna spend some time in the AHL, but they're not doing too bad at all. I'm a fan. Kreider got a goal. Can't complain. A lot of good moves from the guys.
We'll get to hockey later on in the month when things get going.
Really start to pick up.
The big game last night, obviously, the Jets and the Colts. We're going to save that for last because we need to talk about baseball. As the season's coming to an end, a lot to talk about. The Yankees, they're in a pivotal series with Toronto right now. Obviously, they lose last night. Things are not looking too good. Three and a half games back out of the division.
I'll tell you, they have so much on the line right now.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, especially the wild card, but just for the division, they have so much on the line. And if they blow this is just I really can't. If they manage to make it into the playoffs, I can't expect too much from them. If this is how they perform, and I have to, even as a Yankee fan, I have to admit Toronto is the better team. They are an unbelievable team this year, and if we're gonna come at them how we did last night and rally in the ninth inning with 2 runs and that's it, we can't afford that. It's not
Toronto,
gonna work.
Since they made those moves at the trade deadline, getting Tulowitzki, David Price, they've just been on a tear, so you can't really stop them.
And our pitching staff is a little inconsistent. Tanaka was out. Price is just a tremendous pitcher, and it's going to be it's a tough matchup. The last series we had, we managed to at least not get swept, and right now it's not looking good from the start. So,
well, speaking of going on a tear after the All-Star break, the Mets are continuing to extend their lead in the NL East. Right now, the magic number for them is 7 to clinch that division.
Yep.
Another win again last night against the lowly Atlanta Braves, who have just been awful this season.
Yeah, that's like a given win right there for the Mets. The Mets are just hot, and they're going up against a team that's just been in a slump since day one. So, there's not much to expect. But
just looking at this lineup compared to what they were before they made those acquisitions with Cespedes and bringing up Conforto, they had guys hitting in the hundreds in the lineup. Neuenhuis and Mayberry Jr. and all those guys. Now Cespedes is hitting almost 300. Michael Conforto, the big surprise for the Mets, bringing him up from the minors, hitting up there, had another home run last night. Can't say enough about him. He's actually got a great glove too. The knock on him was that he wasn't a defensive player. He came up and he's playing great.
He surprised himself. Yeah, to go to the Yankees, we didn't expect. In the beginning of the season, we had Didi Gregorius, who had a very bad, a shaky start. His glove is good now. It's for the most part, it's not bad. And the Mets are just this little step above, unfortunately to say.
Right.
But we got some good players. We got good defensive players. But as far as the Mets go, I say they better hold on to Cespedes because his bat is tremendous, and that's only going to make their team better.
That's going to be the key. Are they going to pay him? And you mentioned Gregorius. He was hitting 180.
Yeah, he was just
earlier
hitting
on the season.
like a Stunad. What are you going to do? But
he's really turned it on. He's played a great shortstop. He's hitting 263 now. 9 homers, 52 RBIs. That's really what he is. He's got that slugging up. So it's good to see him finally fit in. You know, in the beginning it would be kind of a rough start trying to fill in for Derek Jeter.
Exactly. Yeah, got humongous shoes to fill. You got one of the greats' shoes to fill. So it's tough. It's tough. But I like the newcomers there, like Bird a lot. He even though with Teixeira out, that hurts. But he's definitely a good filler. I'll tell you that. He's not near as experienced as Teixeira, but it's definitely better than nothing. I'll tell you that much.
All right, we'll see tonight. The Yankees, they're in Toronto again. The Mets host Atlanta again. We'll see what those two guys can do.
Yep.
We got to move it over to football because last night was probably one of the happiest nights of my life, happiest 4 hours of my life watching a Jets game in recent memory, probably in years since Rex's first year in 2009.
Yep.
The Jets go to Indianapolis, Tom. They take on the Colts, and the whole game, the Jets dominate the game. That defense looks amazing.
I'll tell you right, there was a few moments where it was just there was a few moments where they could have scored, they missed a field goal and stuff like that, but they were never just down. They were never chasing for points. It was always just the whole game they were consistent.
Right.
And that's what I'm a Giants fan, but that's what I like to say. I like New York teams, so.
And we'll talk about that because you mentioned the offense not capitalizing on those chances. The defense played great that whole game. The Jets pretty much had a 10-point lead. There was 10-0 throughout the first three quarters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Indianapolis, they respond with a touchdown. Finally, they break through that Jets secondary, and then you start to get worried a little bit.
But you got to. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I was just gonna say you get worried. Well, when Andrew Luck comes back, you knew going into halftime with a 10-0 lead. I knew right away. I said they got to put the pressure on
because Andrew Luck's not a nobody, that's for sure.
Right.
But you got to. I mean, Darrelle Revis, man. I mean,
he played phenomenal. He's responsible for 4 turnovers in 2 games. He had a fumble recovery last week against Cleveland. Last night, 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. The guy, he's well worth all the money.
Oh my God, yeah. Then that proved it right there.
Yep.
That game proved it. That's unbelievable. And now to put I mean, I don't want to put a damper on the happy mood of football, New York football, but the Giants, man, 2 games in a row, we're blowing it. What are we doing?
You can't.
What are we doing with Eli? Like, come on.
It's really. I think it's a combination of Tom Coughlin, the play calling, and just the roster. Jerry Reese, that general manager over for the Giants, he's responsible for putting this roster together. And I really do think that the Giants are lacking in several positions. The wide receiver position is a question besides Beckham.
They got some big holes in their entire squad, and it's really just upsetting. And I mean, I love Odell Beckham, man. He's like. He played great. He made some great catches. He ran the ball. He did a really good job, but it just didn't finish, and it was just a shame. It was 2 games in a row. They blew the game over.
The defense, they 2 games in a row with 10-point leads in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
No team in the history of the NFL has ever blown two 10-point leads in the first 2 weeks of the season, and the Giants did it. You can't really say no. There's nothing to say, but that defense is a huge question mark. And then you go back to the play calling. You go back to Tom Coughlin, who has conceded the play calling to Ben McAdoo, the new offensive coordinator, for the past couple of years. Tom Coughlin really has. I really think he's outstayed his welcome. He should have retired last year. Now he's just there. It's kind of
like almost like a tradition.
I don't even know what he's doing there. He's just walking up and down the sidelines. He has no say in either side of the play calling. I feel bad for him. He's kind of just a spectator the way the fans are watching on TV. So it's not a good thing to see.
It's really a shame, man, because I like the team. I mean, I'm glad they at least have some Super Bowls under their belt, which is tremendous. Because if you look at this team now, it's like that's a Super Bowl team. I don't think so.
Absolutely not. So. And the division's weak. Obviously, with the Cowboys, Tony Romo, Dez Bryant both going down. They're going to be out for several weeks. The Redskins are, the Redskins, and Philadelphia's 0-2, who they look like a train wreck so far. The Giants actually host the Redskins in a couple days on Thursday night. They got a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
If the Giants can't pick up a win on Thursday night, Tom, I think the season's done.
Oh man,
it's done.
If they go 0-3, man, I'm telling you, it's just gonna be a joke. I don't even know what to expect. It's gonna be a shit season. Pardon my French.
And then you go and look at the Jets. They host they go to Philadelphia on Sunday, and it's another good game. It's another close game. I'm thinking it's going to be competitive, but Chip Kelly with that 0-2 squad, I really think they're gonna put a lot of pressure on the Jets. The Jets are really gonna have to respond from their win from last night. So. A lot remains to be seen. We're going to break it down later in the week.
Absolutely.
Antonio Coppola alongside Tom Meehan.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.